we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you a special presentation of
Two Nerds, a podcast. Your home for everything movies, music, video games, and everything in between. With your hosts, Buddy the Bruiser, and Dynamite Jared Latching.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the most illustrious podcast on the internet, Two Nerds, a podcast. I am Buddy the Bruiser, and
I'm Dynamite Jared.
That was a long one.
I'm feeling it tonight, man.
Yeah?
That's gonna peak out on everyone's speakers for.
That's all right. If they're listening to this late at night, like we're recording this late at night,
It's true.
they'll be able to wake up. It certainly woke me up a little bit.
Yeah. We're recording this late at night because we just got back from the
Opening night,
the premiere of It, but we'll get to that
in a little bit.
Right now we have some other news.
Very important news to
Some
talk about.
very important
And
news.
I know you were really passionate about talking about this, so I'll let you just kind of take the reins here. And
I'm not passionate about it.
you were really pushing to get this into the episode, and I noticed you penciled it in on top of everything I wrote down for the evening. So you really want to get this in there.
I should have penciled it in over some of the garbage that you wanted to talk about in the show, but I'll let it pass. I just wanted to put a little bit of variety in the show, so I looked up, and it came to across the news that they're adding a fourth Powerpuff Girl.
They're adding a fourth Powerpuff Girl.
A fourth Powerpuff Girl. Now, buddy, there's no official news on this Powerpuff Girl yet, what her appearance is. We've seen a silhouette, kind of, and we know
The voice
actress. Can you take a guess as to why they would add a fourth Powerpuff Girl now?
Well, I know what you want. I know what you want me to say.
Like 18 years after the Powerpuff Girls' inception.
I know what you want me to say, because almost every episode you're bringing it up. Because Jared loves talking about pandering in Hollywood.
Well, it's not in Hollywood. In this instance, because I wouldn't really.
Listen, man. All the little black girls around the world, they need a Powerpuff Girl to look up to. Bottom line, that's what this is.
I have no problem with it.
No,
it's just funny because it's just like
it's just so random.
It's 18. It's just so obvious. Is what's funny about it to me is that, like, I guess 18 years ago we weren't socially progressed enough to fucking make a black Powerpuff Girl. Mm-hmm. So I ask you this, Cartoon Network Studios, where is my Chinese Powerpuff Girl? Where is my Mexican Powerpuff Girl?
It's a Powerpuff League.
I'm seeing like tweets online reacting to this, and it's like all these girls that watched the show were initially upset. There doesn't need to be a fourth Powerpuff Girl, which kind of you're right. I mean, the Powerpuff Girls,
it's fine.
They were fine the way they were, but I mean, at the same time, it's not really hurting anything. But then they found out that it's a black girl,
right?
And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm totally behind this idea now."
Right.
Now that I've heard that, the Powerpuff Girls are going to be more diverse.
Here's the thing, man. Bottom line, the new show sucks. So
I will not be watching, regardless of if you put a transgender Powerpuff Girl in there. I'll still not be watching. Me and Buddy caught a snippet of the newer episodes before, and that even wasn't what I was,
because you've seen it
to.
on TV.
I actually have, but I've watched like snippets because I was curious. Because, dude, the old Powerpuff Girls show was awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
But
I don't know if it still holds up as well, but I'm pretty sure it would.
Watch any cartoon from the late 90s, still holds up. It's all on Netflix.
Really? All of it?
Like,
Well, probably the major
last
ones.
time I checked, Johnny Bravo was definitely on Netflix, and I'm pretty sure Powerpuff Girls was on there. And
If you throw Dexter's Lab on there, you've got the essentials.
I'm going to assume that Dexter's Lab is on there if those two are. But man, those are the great ones. They need to get Courage the Cowardly Dog
That's
on there too.
Courage was on there for a while. They might have recently taken it off, but I think they only had like half of the series on there. They didn't have the full thing. But Courage was my favorite out of all of them. But I actually liked Powerpuff Girls a lot.
Powerpuff Girls was probably my favorite when I was growing up.
Did you ever play the games? Because I remember
video games.
I had two,
I didn't play any fucking Powerpuff Girl video games.
I had 2 Powerpuff Girls games on Game Boy Color. They were so fucking hard when I was a little kid.
I did go see the Powerpuff Girls movie in theaters.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I had it on VHS after.
When it came out in theaters, I remember this distinctly because we were driving to see it. My mom was driving us there. My mom has narcolepsy.
Okay.
And so she was kind of like falling asleep at the wheel with me and my brother and sister in the car. And like she kind of noticed or whatever, and she slams on the brakes, and her hot coffee like spilled all over my fucking sister. So like it was a disaster, but we still made it to see the Powerpuff Girl movie.
You know, that sounds like a wrestling feud to me. Spilling the coffee on someone. Wasn't Kane in a feud like that?
Yeah, I think he was. Someone spilled hot coffee on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you would think, since he is the fire guy, that little heat wouldn't have harmed him.
Yeah.
But whatever.
There's a new Powerpuff Girl.
What do you guys think about it?
Yeah,
that's
let
what
us know
that's
in the
what
comments.
matters.
It's pandering. I have no problem with there being a black Powerpuff Girl or any kind of Powerpuff Girl. It's just
Really, I think at this point, if you're an adult and you grew up with the show, if you have a problem with them adding a new Powerpuff Girl on a show that isn't made for you, and you're probably not going to watch, like, why does it matter to you?
Anyway, I remember what I tracked off on now is that I watched a newer episode. Do you remember when they first announced rebooting the Powerpuff Girls,
Yes.
and they were drawn in like a completely different art style?
Yeah,
and everything?
everything's the more, like, I don't know how
They went back to the traditional art style, kind of, in that snippet that we just watched.
Uh-huh.
But in the one with their art style was changed. Mm-hmm. And they, like, I watched a snippet of it, and like the dialogue was just so cringeworthy.
Really?
Like, it was like they were seriously like saying OMG and stuff.
So it's kind of like the new Teen Titans and like all the other shows that are on Cartoon Network and stuff.
So I don't know. I mean,
It's made for 6-year-olds. It's not made for 2 guys in their mid to late 20s. So
the thing about it that sucks, though, is that you go back and watch these old Powerpuff Girls episodes and these old Dexter and like Johnny Bravo episodes and stuff. They had humor in there that was like
for adults as well.
Like that was kind of aimed at adults, and like maybe it's just the nostalgia in me, but like I still can get invested in those episodes and like the content of those episodes.
Hell, fuck! I watched I was babysitting a couple months ago, and I just threw on like Nicktoons or something and watched like 2 hours of Hey Arnold, and that show is like still as good as it was.
Yeah, that show's amazing. Okay, so I mean, let us know in the comments below what you think about this new Powerpuff Girl. It doesn't really affect me, but since it's current and it's kind of nerd news, I figured we would talk about it on the show. I'm still not watching Powerpuff Girls, and are you going to be watching?
No, I'm not going to be watching.
Okay.
I don't watch any TV, so
weren't the Powerpuff Girls good enough as like feminists?
I would think
Wonder
so.
Woman's a feminist icon. Like, were the Powerpuff Girls not?
I don't know.
And you know what? They're not objectified because they're
because
little
that'd
girls.
be fucking creepy.
'Cause that'd be
Oh, I'm
terrible.
sure some people are objectifying them.
Let's not. All right. Okay, so we just got back from the premiere of Stephen King. Well, Stephen King didn't direct it.
No,
but
Stephen King,
the
an
newest-
adaptation.
The newest adaptation of Stephen King's It, which he's in like big support mode for. He tweeted like, "Go to the movies tonight." He must be getting some good royalty checks for this.
For sure. But before we get into the movie, let's talk about before the movie a little bit, because I know you had a few gripes with these trailers.
I was gonna get into even before the trailers. As you guys know, we just got back from the Ashtabula AMC Mall 6 Theater, whatever the fuck they're calling it these days. They had the doors wide open for two nerds. They rolled out the red carpet for us. This was our fucking premiere event, and it was just packed. It was packed in the theaters.
We actually had a fan there.
There was definitely a fan there. We want to just thank AMC Theaters for
their hospitality.
Yeah, for letting us in, and they can thank us later for this plug of their theater. Anyways, so we get in there, red carpet's rolled out. We go down, we meet with the paparazzi and everything, and then we get into the theater for the premiere. And I'm looking forward to this movie, but these trailers start rolling through, buddy, and I mean, they weren't good.
You were into that first one. You were like, dude, they brought back narration. You never see narration in trailers anymore.
That wasn't the first one.
It wasn't?
That wasn't the first one.
What was the first one?
I'm
was it the second one?
Positive that the first one was Bad Moms Christmas, or whatever the fuck that movie was called. And that, I'm telling you what, if that movie makes more than a fucking dollar in the box office, people, you failed, okay? Like, you failed as consumers, because that's how this works, right? That's how this whole system works. We go see something,
if you don't see it,
and when you show that there's a demand for it, they make more of it. And so if you witness this trailer and take it all in and really just be like, God, and think that this trailer is worth anything more than Mila Kunis. I mean...
And Susan Sarandon. Who I saw on FaceTime once very briefly. Because I was working with her son. But anyway. But yeah, the trailer looked like ass.
It was really bad. And the humor in it was just well below par. And what's scary about that is that in comedy movies, it seems that they try and put out
the best
their
jokes.
strongest jokes in the trailer to get people, at least with bad comedy movies. If you go see a good comedy movie,
you don't have to worry about it.
You'll see that there's more humor to spare. Like, okay, that wasn't in the trailer, and that's funny. That's because it's a funny fucking movie, and they actually had more than 3 jokes that they didn't have to waste all on the trailer. But this movie, if this was the best this movie has to offer, let's just say that the two nerds aren't going to go be
I don't know. I don't know.
Christmas.
Maybe we'll put out a poll, and if they're
going to vote for us to go. God damn it! I'm not giving my money to fucking whoever the fuck put out that piece of shit.
If we can get them to donate us the $9 each, it will take us to go see that movie.
Yeah, we'll start a crowdfunding page. So
Two Nerds review Bad Moms Christmas on GoFundMe.
Check this out, okay, guys. If you fund our trip to the theater to see Bad Moms Christmas, we won't just review it on the podcast. We will fucking put out an entire video. We're talking video of us reviewing in depth Bad Moms Christmas. So,
So you guys have that to look forward to, I guess.
look forward to that crowdfunding page. We'll get that up and running soon. Obviously, we really just want to go see this movie,
Right.
but we don't want to pay for it. What was the name of that second movie?
I don't remember. It was a horror movie,
Yeah,
and it was saying like, so scared in 1 week. This will change your life or something.
Yeah, and like, okay.
Let me pull up IMDb right now, and we'll see
Well,
if these.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say that the content of the trailer, like the clips from the actual movie, did not look that interesting to me. Did they look that interesting to you?
No, the only thing that was interesting was you being all gaga that there was a goddamn narrator.
Well, dude,
in this
I mean,
trailer.
seriously, like when we watch a VHS and there's trailers before
Yeah.
before the movie, you see that they all have like in a world, you know what I mean? Like the guy's talking, he's there, he's speaking.
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of like, I don't know. I'm just so sick of the modern trailer. And I think the trailers
I agree.
and that like I think the trailers back then were just so much like cooler.
It wasn't friend request, was it?
Was it Friend Request? No, it was the one where everyone was going to the dude's house or whatever, and he was like a psycho. Like the trailer seemed fucking crazy because there was a lot of shit going on in it. Friend Request was what was going on when we were walking in.
Okay.
It was like halfway through the Friend Request trailer, which looked abysmal.
Oh, was it Happy Death Day? There
No,
was a
it
trailer
wasn't
for
Happy
that.
Death Day.
There was a
It wasn't
trailer.
Happy Death
There
Day.
was a trailer for that when we were there. I don't know. I can't fucking find what one it was.
I tell you what, Happy Death Day could have some potential if they use some creative kills and
Was it
use
Mother?
some. Yes, it was Mother. It was Mother.
Yeah.
So, guys, go look up that trailer for Mother. Let us know what you think of that in the comments.
It must be a new trailer, so like if you see one that's been uploaded in like the last week or so, that's the one. That's it, because it was saying in 1 week's time.
Yeah.
It might be an AMC only trailer because it literally said at the end is like, go out to the box office right now and reserve your tickets or something.
Yeah. I'm just glad to see that the narrator might be back
Yeah.
for at least one trailer. We need to get narrators in more trailers because I don't know. That's just the kind of shit that I grew up on, and that's the kind of shit that I like. Happy Death Day.
I thought the trailer looked decent. If you guys haven't seen it, it's basically like Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow, where like the same thing keeps getting repeated. So this, like, the girl's getting stalked and killed, and then when she gets killed, she wakes up, and it's the beginning of the day again.
Not only does she wake up, but she wakes up to 50 Cent's, whatever the name of the
birthday song.
birthday, is that the name of the song?
believe
Birthday
so.
song? 50 Cent's birthday song every day. Like every time she gets killed, she has to wake up and it's like, go shorty, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
You know, and so like you can see through the trailer how the song is beginning to take a toll on her because like near the end of the trailer, she's waking up and it's still playing that fucking song. She's like, ah!
Yeah.
So that movie looks interesting, and I think that it could be really good if they use. No, I'm not gonna hold my breath on this, but if they use some cool practical effects and some creative kills,
They won't.
they won't. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but if they do, that movie could be really cool.
Yeah. It has potential, at least from what I saw on the trailer.
So, if you guys want us to go see Happy Death Day, crowdfunding page coming soon. Okay, I don't remember any of it.
Well, that's really all the ones that were worth.
Oh, there was the Justice League trailer, but
And then there was one that was like all these big name actors on a train, and it's basically like a modern version of Clue.
yeah.
It was like Clue, like someone died on this train and they're trying to figure out who it was, and there's one like inspector kind of guy, but it has like Johnny Depp, Willem Dafoe, a bunch of other people in there as well. But it like says their occupation. Like there was one like the princess and the fucking, not the princess is an occupation, but I just remember that because that was the last one.
Yeah.
But it,
Well,
like
their title or whatever.
Their titles pop up on the screen. Yeah, probably won't be seeing that, but it looked interesting. And then
It did look interesting. I would probably watch it.
yeah, I don't know if I'd go to a theater to see it.
I don't know.
It's
I
a
mean,
solid rent, I would say.
Yeah. If it was directed by Quentin Tarantino, I'd be.
Oh, if it was, yeah. Oh, we'd be there, 100%. And then the other trailer was for Flatliners.
Did you see the one like tweet? I can't even remember what it was, but it was like if Quentin Tarantino like directed like whatever, like such and such movie. It was like a remake of this movie, and it was like the main character of it, and like its only line was the N-word. It was just the N-word. Oh man. That was funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to take a swig of my
Apple cider.
fucking generic apple cider. All right. So, what were you?
So, oh, I just said the last trailer was Flatliners. There's not much to say. That's the one where like
It was kind of odd because no, Flatliners came right after Happy Death Day.
yeah, and it's like kind of the same thing. Like,
Yeah, they keep dying and coming back.
well, that one like they go under a machine that like kills them and then brings them back to life like 2 minutes later, and then they keep going like longer and longer. It's
Yeah.
like a drug. But yeah, I guess we can get to the actual movie now.
Okay. So yeah, it. Let's I guess let's just get our.
Are we doing this spoiler free, or are we gonna?
No, there's going to be spoilers. So, if you guys haven't seen the movie yet and you'd like to avoid spoilers,
I'll put a time code up where you guys can skip,
Yeah.
and then come back and watch later or whatever you want to do.
even though I guess there's still some spoilers because this movie was a bit different than the 90.
A little bit
Nine-
different.
I
but
mean-
it's the same idea.
It's the same idea, but there were differences in it, and I mean, so I think you'll be safe if you've seen the first movie of the TV miniseries, or if you've read the book. I think you'll be pretty safe listening to this.
But if you know nothing about it and don't want it spoiled,
Yeah, which, by the way, who the fuck are you? But you're probably one of these fucking idiots that's voting on these polls. Except for this week.
hey, you won this week. So.
Except for this, we'll get into that later.
But anyway, so for those of you that don't know anything about it, it's about a killer clown, and he's
Not even really.
not even really a killer.
No,
He's a
it's not that
clown.
he's not a clown. He's definitely a fucking killer. I mean, it's not that he's a killer. He's definitely a killer. Okay, that's my whole point. And he's kind of a clown, but he's not even really a clown. He's like a demon of some sort. I think that the full explanation for his existence is that he's like from a whole fucking either another dimension or another planet.
So
Or
he's an
something.
alien.
I think he might be a fucking alien, honestly, in like the
So
book.
killer clowns from outer
I
space.
think he's at the very least from a different dimension, as Vegeta would say, the next dimension.
Sure.
What did you think of the movie?
Overall, I thought it was pretty good. Again, I know the original backwards and forwards, so I didn't really. I don't know. Like, I kind of knew what was gonna happen all the way. There weren't really many surprises for me, honestly. And like, I don't. Did you think it was scary, like at all? Because I didn't think it was even remotely scary at all.
I think, and I was just saying this inside, I think that the Tim Curry version was actually scarier
Yeah.
than this. But what I like about this one,
Oh, this
is
one.
that
This one was better beginning to end, but I did not think anything in it was scary.
I think that the old one was scarier, but I think that the characters in this one were so much better. What do you think?
Well, basically, the characters, at least, they're exactly the same. Basically, but in both versions, you have the kid that's asthmatic. You have the kid that is like a big talker. Like in this one, is the kid from Stranger Things, and in the old one, it's Seth Green cracking one-liners.
Yeah.
And then you have the fat kid in both. You have the girl in both. So like they're basically the same, and like they're scared of the same kind of stuff in both versions of it. But this one, I think they had a little more time and effort put into developing them, and I just in general think that the child actors were probably like a little bit better in this one. But for the most part, their backstories are the same. And again, one of like the downsides of it is that for me there was no real suspense because I kind of knew all of them were going to live because they're in the second part. So
Okay, so before we get into that, I have here kind of Pennywise's or its
backstory.
like a little bit of his backstory. Now I'm not gonna read the whole fucking thing because it's a lot. But so in the novel, it is an eternal entity that is almost as old as time itself. It is the natural enemy of Maturin, the turtle, both whom exist in the macroverse. After arriving on Earth, it would sleep for approximately 27 to 30 years at a time and awaken. So he's from the macroverse, whatever the fuck that is.
Okay.
I wonder if that has a link to it. No, it doesn't. I read all this shit like a few years ago. Like, cause I'll get into like Wikipedia fits where I'll just fucking read a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
Like, and it's usually shit that interests me. So, you know, obviously I'll end up on Pennywise the Clown's page. But I know that he appears in a bunch of Stephen King novels.
Okay.
And, like,
I didn't know that. But
yeah,
okay.
he like shows up like it is like the one where he's like really there, but like he makes cameos in other ones. And I think he plays a big role in like another one. I don't think it's Dark Tower.
I think those two, I don't know if Pennywise shows up, but I actually like read that they share the same universe, like Dark Tower and it.
I think he does show up in Dark Tower, but I'm like, I don't know if he plays a huge role or not, but like a lot of those books are in a shared universe.
Okay.
So,
But hey, what did you think of
I really liked it. And like I said, I didn't think it was as scary as the Tim Curry version. I don't know if that's Bill Skarsgård's fault or however.
I don't think it was his fault at all. I think it's just the movie didn't build that much suspense, I would say. And like even compared to most modern horror movies, like I just saw Annabelle Creation the other week, and that one just built suspense so much better. I mean, this was a way better movie, but that one was much more suspenseful and scary, I would say. Because this one, like, I don't even think the jump scares really worked at all.
There was one jump scare that we saw it be effective, but that was just one. And I don't know if there even was other jump scares.
Which one was the one where he comes out of the chest? Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Really?
When he's in the bathroom.
Because that's the only one I thought that worked.
No, the
Was him in the
bathroom one where
That was in the trailer. Well, they were both in the trailer.
Yeah, but
yeah, that one did get a big reaction in the theater.
and I mean, my girlfriend fucking like almost jumped out of her fucking seat on it. And I mean, like
You gotta have the jump scares. I mean, when you're setting up the story, you don't want people's attention to wander off. You got to keep them invested.
I mean, jump scares are necessary. I love jump scares. What I'm saying though is like me and you, we're kind of like immune to the jump scare now. Like we know it's coming. It takes a really fucking like crafty director to actually get me with a jump scare where I didn't see it coming. And like usually the director kind of goes along with the same fucking formula.
Yeah.
Where it's, you know, like you're watching over their shoulder the entire time, but it's going to come from the other direction, you know?
Right.
So,
but this one, I think that like, I don't know, maybe the editing could have been cleaned up a little bit. Like, I feel like things happened like a half second too late. of when I was, because like I can usually predict when the jump scare is gonna come, and then it came like a little bit later because I was like, okay, well, I don't see how that works.
I don't think that the jump scares were really what the director was trying to drive home.
No, I'm not saying it was his goal in this film.
I think the goal was to kind of make this creepy and frightening without relying on jump scares, because I noticed that a lot of the times where it appeared was not a jump scare. It would kind of build up a little bit like it was going to be a jump scare, and then like
it would just show him.
He would just like kind of like with Georgie in the basement.
Okay.
Which was in the trailer, but Georgie's in the basement and he starts talking about floating and shit. I feel like any other director would be tempted to have Georgie maybe fucking like something happens to him or whatever. And Bill is kind of like freaked out, and he turns around to run away and runs right into Pennywise.
Yeah,
and there's your jump scare.
But instead he's behind.
He like just slowly creeps up from the water while Georgie's like
saying his
you'll float too, and you know,
turning
like,
it into the zombie face,
Yeah.
whatever he was.
So I think that just like it was trying to be more atmospheric with its scares, and that's something that I can appreciate in today's day and age.
Yeah, I can agree with you.
I think that the jump scare is really just overused, and I don't think it didn't really frighten me a bit. Like, I kind of know the story already, and I already dealt with my Pennywise the Clown fear a long time ago when I first watched
as we all did when we were children.
Yeah, when I first watched the movie. When I first watched the TV miniseries. So, I mean, like, I've kind of already overcome that. I've already had like a dream once back in the day where Pennywise was in my house.
Did you notice the Tim Curry makeup cameo?
Yeah, in the clown room
when it was like right next to the coffin.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So if you guys are watching the scene, it's where you see the coffin. It's to
the left.
It's to the left.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was cool. It was a nice little tribute.
I was like, there he is.
That's him. What do you think about Skarsgård's performance?
I think it was fine. I mean, he did what he needed to do. I mean, I prefer Tim Curry.
I don't think that anyone's going to come out of this not preferring Tim Curry. I don't know. There's only so much you can do, and just like, do you think that he was the right guy for it? Not that he did a bad job.
No, I think whoever you put in there, I mean, really, it's the directing and the story. Because no matter what, when you're wearing that makeup,
you don't think that there's someone else there that could act creepier?
I mean, I could probably.
No, not you. You don't think that maybe Willem Dafoe could pull this off?
Oh, maybe.
Willem Dafoe was badass as the Green Goblin,
yeah.
Man. That costume was terrible, but he was badass. Like Willem Dafoe, I'm trying to think of other actors that could really get kind of crazy, but I don't know. Regardless, like, the makeup's whatever. I guess I don't know what to think about it. It was good. Like, the character. The character was good. I think that I liked how it didn't rely on the clown as heavily this time around. That they did kind of each have their own individual fears.
Yeah. Which they did in the original a little bit.
It was kind of mild in the original. Yeah. You didn't really see it. It was a lot of Pennywise.
But in this one, like, the Jewish kid, like, his fear is women, and he's like this Marilyn Manson looking face comes at him, and I guess it's supposed to be a girl. It just looked like Marilyn Manson.
I don't know what the fuck that thing was.
Asthma Kid was scared of like this leper.
Yeah, so he was scared of disease or whatever, I guess, because a leper, was coming at him. What was her name? Martha or whatever. The girl's name.
Yeah.
She was scared of blood. I'm assuming presumably because she was starting
Her
periods. So what was everyone else scared of? I know that.
Well, the main Billy, I mean, it was just Georgie the whole time was his
He
thing.
wasn't even he didn't even have a fear. It was just using Georgie to kind of get to him. The one kid from Stranger Things, he was scared of clowns.
Yeah, so he was in the room with all the clowns. The fat kid, he kind of just got lured into the basement. I don't know what his specific fear. He said what his fear was, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
Something was the headless thing was chasing him.
Yeah.
The decapitated body, but yeah, I don't even know. And he's the one that's going to kill himself, right?
No, the Jewish kid kills himself.
Oh, that fucking pussy. Yeah.
He was the only kid in the whole thing that I didn't like. Like, he added nothing to the story, I don't think.
I think that I hate saying this, but the black kid, he could have been
he could have been handled better.
He could have been more fleshed out and definitely,
because in the original, he's the one that brings the whole group back together. He's the one making the call saying, "Hey, you guys got to get back to Maine." So maybe in the second one he'll be fleshed out a little more.
Yeah, he was like, he didn't have much screen time in this. Like, he was in the beginning, and then like he saw like the hands coming out of the, the door, the burning and shit.
And then he was gone for a while.
He was gone, and then he almost got fucking like killed
by that bully. Yeah.
And speaking of which,
did you notice the bully in this looked exactly like the fucking bully from the old version?
Good.
Like, almost exactly like that.
No, I don't remember much about the bully in the old version because it's been a while since I've seen it. But goddamn, was he? I remember him being a little over the top in that. But was he that fucking extreme in that one?
No, I don't think it was like this one. I think they did a good job giving the bullies, well, the main bully, like more of a character and backstory. Because typically, with these Stephen King stories with the bullies, there's no backstory whatsoever. They're mean just for the sake of being mean. This one, he obviously has some sort of problems with his father, and well, you kind of see how that plays out in there. But
I'm curious to see, if you guys have read the book, let me know if he actually kills his dad in the book or not.
Because he didn't do that in the original.
No, but
which that part was actually pretty unsettling. I would say.
It was cool. I liked it. And but you're right. Like that was a cool scene with the TV screen going and everything, and like Pennywise was on the screen, like kill them all, and he's fucking stabbing his dad in the goddamn jugular. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I liked the movie. You liked the movie.
Right.
I'm looking forward to chapter 2.
I am as well.
Which I'm pretty sure we're going to get because, like you said,
well,
it's been pretty fucking successful.
Well, even at the end when it said chapter 1, that kind of solidifies the fact.
They might scrap it if it didn't, do good.
Yeah, they could, but I don't think they will. I think this is going to be a big enough hit where they'll do another one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about.
I had a couple things. What the fuck was up with his movements?
Okay, and that's another thing that has to do with like the makeup. When he's like dancing and like being silly and shit, it doesn't work because his makeup is way too serious, I think.
Well, when he was dancing, he had a scowl on his face the entire time.
Yeah.
He wasn't smiling. Like, I noticed that. He looked pissed off while he was dancing, even though he was dancing quite a joyous dance. But he had this pissed off look on his face the whole time. The thinking more along the lines of when he would charge.
Yeah, it was like
kids,
jittery.
It was just, yeah. I mean, you can't see me moving. Obviously,
I could see it. It was quite the sight. Let me tell you guys.
But he it's really jittery. It's not a very natural movement.
Intentionally not natural. It's not like
it was.
It's not like a rendering issue or something, but like it was intentionally.
No, it was definitely a director's decision to go about it like that. That was kind of a curious thing to me. I kept noticing it, is that every time that like he would come at someone, it would be like that.
I don't know. How did you feel about the effects in general for this? Because I know at least when he comes out of like the projector, when they're like doing the little slideshow or whatever, and he comes out and he's all huge coming out of the screen, like that looked like ass.
You think so? I thought it looked okay. Maybe not him actually coming out, but when he was like out and they were looking at it, I don't know. Like, it looked all right to me, but I always say that because it wasn't pure fucking CGI garbage that was coming out of the screen. Like, that would have been a cool part to have in 3D, which is weird that
it wasn't shot in 3D at all.
Which is weird considering these days.
Craze, yeah.
Yeah, but I had no problem with that. I actually think that the special effects were a strength in this movie as compared to the old one.
Oh yeah, one was a made-for-TV miniseries, and this one is a multi-million-dollar Hollywood production.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be improved, but I just think that like the CGI that was in it didn't bother me. And there was also quite a bit of practical effects in there too.
Yeah.
Which I'm always appreciative of that.
Yeah, for the most part, I thought they were okay, but there were some that I just thought were a little goofy. Like that one and like the Marilyn Manson head I thought was kind of strange look. I mean, it was supposed to be strange, but I just thought it...
Well, that one was literally a painting come to life. You know what I mean? So like to look like that was like, it didn't really bother me. The leper and shit like that, if I recall correctly, the leper was all practical.
It looked as if it was practical.
Yeah, so I mean, there might have been some CGI enhancement on it and stuff, which is the kind of shit that I don't really mind because you don't really notice it, as opposed to
the entire thing is CG, and
you
can tell.
God, there was a trailer that was, I can't remember what trailer it was, but there was some fucking CG shit in it that just looked like fucking ass. Was it that Spielberg one? It might have been that one.
There was a Spielberg, like a trailer tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Spielberg's like Player One Ready or whatever that was.
Yeah. Like it might have been that trailer where like the CG looked like absolute fucking piss.
He's getting old, man. He can't tell. His eyes are going bad.
Him and Michael Bay need to... Okay, one scene that was like totally CGI overdone that like where I did notice the effects kind of sucked and I laughed was when the bully got thrown down the well. Yeah, he turned into like a fucking character from Toy Story and then like went down. The movie was a Pixar film for like 3 seconds. That's how bad the fucking CG was in that part. The characters were the biggest strength.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I felt with the original. Like the kids were better. Hopefully they can get some good adult actors in this one, because in the old one the adults sucked. Except for John Ritter.
I don't remember really the kids being great actors in the old one. Maybe I'm just like my memory is bad. Maybe they were good. I don't remember them being terrible or anything.
But they weren't like phenomenal, but they were in comparison.
I think that in the first one, I think that the first half was better, not because of the kids, but because it was creepier because they were kids. You know what I mean? And then as adults, like there wasn't as many creepy scenes. Plus there was the spider debacle.
Correct.
So, I mean, that's why I think that the first half was better than the second half in this one. In this one, the kids and the characters were just really
Like a lot of time was devoted to it. Like you could tell that they gave
I
a shit.
actually cared about them.
Yeah.
When
I liked except for the Jewish kid, I liked all the kids.
when fucking what's her face got captured and she was floating there, I was actually like thinking to myself like, oh shit, like is
They
she
could have got her down. She was 6 feet in the air.
No, I know.
If those white kids had hops,
They did
they
get her
should've
down.
let the black
I
kid-
wanted the black kid to get her down so bad. When he fucking came down there, because the kid she still wasn't down there, and then they all came down and he saw her. I was hoping that he would get the fucking Air Jordan Jumpman out and fucking pull her down. But this is so racist. But I mean, let's not play games here. That's not racist. African Americans are generally athletically superior to Caucasians. That's just a fact of life, and like
it happens.
It happens. I mean, they said it on Sports Center the one time when LeVar Ball was like, "Too many white boys on UCLA," and everyone's like, "Ah, that's so racist." But then they were on ESPN, and they're like, "Yeah, it kind of is racist, but I mean, really? Like, as a white man, when you walk into the gym and you see a team of black guys and a team of white guys, which one are you going to bet on?"
Right.
So, I mean, there it is. The kid definitely should have jumped up and got her down. But they did get her down. And I'm saying that when they got her down, she was still kind of like fucked up. And I was like legitimately concerned for a second because I liked all the characters and I didn't want them to die. How about that fucking beatdown at the end?
I thought it was a little goofy. Like, I just think the general idea of him being demolished by brute force is a little goofy.
I think that shooting him with a slingshot and fucking taking him out is kind of goofy.
No, I mean, it's goofy either way.
I liked it. I liked that they're all gonna fucking team up and their strength in numbers is what really got him. Because, like, when he had them, like, singled out, you see, like, he was, like, attacking one of them. The one, he had the pincers on the one kid. He was gonna fucking get him. But you got fucking 5 other kids smacking at you with fucking baseball bats. And eventually, he was overwhelmed. It was kind of, like, an exciting, like, action sequence there at the end, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I can
and
see
then
that.
he got, like, overwhelmed and went in there.
Fell down the hole.
Fell down the hole. I do wish that they would have fucking cracked him across the face to make him go down the hole. He just kind of started decomposing and then fell. So that was it. I liked it.
Yeah.
You liked it.
I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, we literally just left the theater. Like, I haven't had too much time to think about it, but I don't know what else there really is to say.
I think I thought of some funny shit to say about it, but I forgot about all of it. And I just really, really liked the movie.
If you guys have read the book, let us know in the comments if this is more faithful to the book than the original. I'm not really sure. I haven't read the book. I know, like,
Miria seems to think so.
Yeah.
She read the book a long time ago, but she said she can't seem to, like, she thinks that really followed the book very closely.
Because I know in the book there's, like, this, like, it's hinted at the incest kind of father-daughter thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I know there's one part in the book, I haven't read the book, so I could be completely wrong, but I heard there's, like, a children, like, orgy in the book somewhere. But obviously,
Damn, Stephen King.
But, like, you can't put that in the movie, obviously. But, like, apparently, like, there's some fucked up shit in the book. But yeah, I thought that was handled decently. Like, I thought that was...
I really just like the way that the movie came across as, like, two of my like, top 2 favorite genres fucking kind of just blended together in one movie. Because it's that was definitely like a coming of age movie.
It was The Goonies, and it was I don't know, a movie.
Fucking just Halloween.
Halloween.
Sure. Like, not it's. I guess Michael Myers is kind of supernatural.
Kind of.
Not in Halloween. We'll say Halloween 4.
Okay.
If it was Tim Curry, it would be Halloween 1. All right, so it's in theaters now. Go check it out. Highly recommended. A thumbs up from Dynamite Jared.
And a thumbs up from Buddy the Bruiser.
All right, so let's move on to some wrestling. Let's cover this briefly.
Yeah, well, your boy wanted us to talk about this.
My boy.
Your boy Miles.
Okay.
Was like, you guys got to talk about JBL.
He quit.
Yes.
Let's see Miles' comment.
Well, do you want his full comment?
Yeah.
Miles says, I was trying to leave a comment, but not sure what to even bring up here. Laughed a few times and enjoyed the wrestling talk. Should have spent 3 to 4 minutes recapping some other WWE news. Maybe talk about JBL leaving commentary next week. Any Friday the 13th sex scenes are good. I had the Salo Blu-ray, never watched it, and sold it a month ago.
Okay. JBL quit, so is he leaving the company or just commentary?
I would assume that would mean the company in general. From what I've heard, I haven't looked too much into it. I say that every week because I really don't look that much into things. But apparently his contract was up like since last October, and he's gotten a few extensions since then. So this has been like a long process of them slowly trying to weed him out. And the whole Mauro Ranallo like bullying thing played a factor.
That was not a bad look. I mean, that was not a good look.
No, that was not good. That played a factor in it. And when he released his official departure statement, he was saying he was going to do charitable work full time, which is true, and that was part of it. But this wasn't as abrupt as people are making it seem. This has been going on for a while.
Is there any like story on like what the actual bullying was? Like,
I'm not sure. And from what I've heard, it wasn't solely him, but he was the main perpetrator of it.
So do you think we'll be getting Morrow on SmackDown again?
I would like that, but I don't think. I mean, from what it seems like, he's happier in NXT. He doesn't have to travel. He doesn't have to do all that bullshit.
And he can call Mayweather versus McGregor.
Yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
So JBL quits. I don't know. JBL's a legend and apparently a bully. It's not that sad to see him go at this stage in the game. I really liked him when he first returned to commentary because he was playing a straight up heel. And now I just find myself like really wanting him to shut up because he goes back to the same catchphrases over and over again. And he won't play a straight up heel. He like always just kind of like is like right down the line. Like he just kind of, I don't know. He's like a color commentator that doesn't have, a baby face or heel role, which has always been kind of awkward in my opinion.
Right. But anyway, Shane McMahon is suspended from SmackDown.
For what?
I don't know if you saw that. Well, okay, so remember how I told you they were going to try to build up that storyline between him and Kevin Owens?
Yeah.
For like a long-term thing towards Survivor Series. So basically, KO comes out and he's like, oh, I'm screwed out of the U.S. title. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. You did all this shit. The same stuff they've been saying for weeks.
Yeah.
And Kevin like said something about Shane's kids, about like, oh, your kids, blah, 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 and all this shit. And Shane's like, don't you mention my family again. And then Kevin says something about them again, like later on in the promo, and Shane just like beats the fuck out of Kevin. Like throws him over the announce table. He has to get pulled apart by all the refs. People from the back come out, pull Shane off of him, and then like they do a little segment where Daniel Bryan's on the phone with someone. He's like, yes, sir. Yes. Yes. And then Daniel Bryan comes out, Shane comes out, and Daniel's like, I was just on the phone with your father and you're suspended. And then Vince is coming on SmackDown next week. We don't know what he's going to say or what's going to happen, but Vince is coming on next week.
Well, that's cool.
I guess.
Cena versus Reigns again?
Really, there's not much to... I mean, they're just continuing the shoot kind of style thing. Really, the only interesting point to mention out of this, and this kind of segues into our next thing, is John...
I actually have something, though.
Oh, well, then you go ahead first.
Asuka.
Yeah.
Asuka on Wednesday, it was aired. This was recorded, but it finally aired, and I watched it. And Asuka stepped down as the NXT Women's Champion. She stepped down undefeated, apparently has a broken collarbone. But it was said right there in the promo, William Regal says that she's negotiating, well, him and her are negotiating with SmackDown and Raw general managers right now. So she's definitely getting called up. She's probably nursing this injury first. And it was a really cool send-off moment on NXT. The entire roster came out onto the stage and applauded her. Ember Moon came out and they hugged, and like the whole crowd was thank you, Asuka, and everything. Triple H came out and, held her hand up with the title before he took it from her, gave her the flowers and everything. They really made a huge deal about her leaving NXT, and she's still undefeated. Will she carry this undefeated streak onto the main roster?
It would make sense, but I mean, they'll probably fuck it up.
William Regal came out and said that she's one of the greatest champions in WWE history. Not just NXT history, which in NXT history, she's probably the greatest champion in NXT history. But in WWE history, she's one of the greatest there. So it was a cool moment. I'm looking forward to seeing Asuka on the main roster. Yeah. Whichever roster she goes to, she's going to be a spark, and she's going to be a star if they treat her the way that she was treated in NXT.
Right.
She's got that charisma and that magnetism. She has an it factor to her that people... She gets your attention when she comes into a room, just kind of like Nakamura does. So, All right. Cena versus Reigns again.
Yeah, I mean, really, they're doing the shoot back and forth. Reigns is calling him a pussy ass bitch and stuff all the time. He thinks it's funny. And basically the only thing to mention out of this that didn't happen the week prior is Cena makes a joke about Roman's zipper being unzipped, and Roman goes, "It's not unzipped, I broke it, big dog." So Roman Reigns is referring to his big penis. Segue! Welcome to Sextember.
It is Sextember! We're finally done talking about men in their underwear touching each other. And we're talking about some great, sweaty, brutal, kinky, and rowdy sex.
Oh, God.
And I'm in a great mood because it's Sextember, and I have shown my Sextember dominance by destroying Buddy in the week
quote
one polls.
Unquote destroying. Yeah, right.
Okay. Can we take a look at the percentages?
Take a look at the percentages.
Let's get a look at the numbers here.
I'm surprised you didn't print out the tweet, frame it on your wall for the first time you've ever won a poll on this show.
Listen, because we didn't have polls during Sextember last year. Otherwise, it just would have been it would have been done for. It would have been a clean sweep. So, 65-35 out of 17,000 votes.
Okay.
So I'd say I won by a pretty hefty margin.
Whatever you say.
This wasn't no fucking George Bush versus Al Gore shit, okay? This was... I'm looking at our tweets and I haven't seen this meme yet.
It's not a meme.
The Rock has already seen the It remake and says it's one of his top 10 all-time fans.
Which is...
That is a meme!
No, but it's true. He put it on his Instagram. Not that picture, but he posted a thing.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
He posted a thing, like today, he was like, go see it. It's one of my top 10 favorites that I've ever seen.
That's amazing. It might be one of the best to come out this year, and we'll see at the end of the year how that holds up. Anyways, it's Sextember. There was hints of sex in it, but no straight up sex on the screen. So we got to throw it out of this topic right here, right now. We're talking sex and nothing but sex. We're talking dicks going into fucking vag. All right? We're talking dicks maybe even going into butts sometimes, okay? Mouth, ear, nose, any fucking hole you got, it can go in there, and maybe even a dick into another dick's pee hole. Okay?
Jesus Christ.
That's the kind of sex we're talking about on Two Nerds a Podcast, because it is Sextember, and we are two sexy guys talking about sex.
If you say so.
All right? So, buddy, I beat your ass last week, and I'm looking forward to doing it again this week.
If you say
I
so.
beat your ass in a kinky way with like a paddle, like from like 30 Shades of Grey.
30 Shades of Grey.
That's right.
Yeah, you need a little bit, a few
50
more,
shades of Grey.
a few more shades.
About 20 more shades. I'm just too excited. This week, we are going to be talking about... Actually, we have to get into some more sex first before we get into our next sexy poll. Pull up the comments.
But yeah, so...
We asked you guys to get onto the comments and tell us about some of your favorite sex scenes, and that's exactly what you did, because it's Sextember, and every single one of you guys is wet with perspiration when you think about the two nerds talking about sex on Two Nerds Podcast.
All right, so here are the comments. We got some people just talking about Ross Lynch just because...
Because he's a sexy man.
As we said, Miles says any Friday the 13th sex scene. And our boy...
Miles, you gotta be more specific, man. I'm telling you to break it down. Get to me when you have your favorite Friday the 13th sex scene. Anyone's good. I agree. They're all great.
But which one
is the best? I'm torn between Kevin Bacon and then the one in the newest one with the nipple placement, because that line is just so good. I'm gonna have to go with Kevin Bacon on this one, just because
stick with the classics, man. So No Star Reviews says best is Black Swan, Mila Kunis and Natalie Portman. Antichrist has a Willem Dafoe sex scene, which that is pretty terrifying. And then he says hard to vote against The Room.
But they did.
And then the rest of the
I've heard about this. Didn't we talk about the Willem Dafoe sex scene last season?
Maybe last year, yeah.
I still haven't watched that shit.
And then we just have a comment from Harry Thomas Pictures that says he absolutely loves Taylor Swift and she's incredibly talented. So that exists. Anyway.
Okay, but I've heard that both of her new songs are terrible.
You should just listen to them, man.
I'm gonna have to listen to them. Did you?
Yeah, I watched the video for the one where she was...
Is it good or terrible?
We talked about this last week.
I don't remember your opinion.
Well, you can check out last week's episode, my friend.
Oh, all right. So, thank you guys for hitting into the...
Hitting into the what?
Getting into the comment section and letting us know what your favorite sex scene is. And don't be afraid to do it again this week and tell us some more of your favorite sex scenes. But also, we want to know who's your favorite sexy couple and which one do you think has the kinkiest, rowdiest sex, or the best sex? Who has the best sex? Which kinky, rowdy, and best are all the same?
So I'll start this off with a big one. How about Mickey and Minnie? right off the bat.
I can just think of them.
You just hear, like, you're standing outside their house and you just hear, oh! Like, Minnie, come on!
I'm not even going to try and touch that impression there because my voice is too deep.
What's something Mickey would say? It's like, come on!
I mean, buddy, let's not hold back. You know, the listeners want an uncensored look into the lives of Mickey.
Well, then
and
give
Minnie.
me something to say, and I'll say it.
Suck this dick.
Minnie, you better suck this dick!
Suck it dry.
Or just Goofy doesn't have a wife, but I saw this on like Tumblr, where Goofy is actually the only Disney character that is confirmed that has had sex because he has a son. Everyone else, like Mickey and Donald, have like nieces and nephews and shit, but Goofy has the son Max. And in the Tumblr post, it just says this thing where you like hear in the distance like "Gorse." Or,
oh my god. No! No! Fuck. Is it Pluto, Goofy's dog? But is it?
It's Mickey's dog.
Okay. But Goofy's a dog too, right?
Yes.
So why can't Pluto stand up with his hind legs?
These are questions that have never been answered, my friend.
Oh, man. But these aren't questions that we need to ask during Sextember.
Right.
We can ask these in next week's episode before we start getting into the steamy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and counter with Mario and Princess Peach.
What about Princess Peach and Luigi? Because it is rumored that Luigi is actually the man with the plan, if you know what I'm saying.
The Plan B pills?
Perhaps.
Luigi might have the Plan B pills, but Mario's the one that needs them, okay, to give to Princess Peach because he's sticking her. And I'm telling you what, man, if he's not up to the task, all he's got to do is hit one of those blocks and get a mushroom, and the dude's dick is bigger than fucking King Kong's entire body.
Pretty much.
What do you got?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. How about Roger and Jessica Rabbit?
You bring up Roger Rabbit a lot.
I like that movie, man. It's a good fucking movie.
What's kinky about their sex?
I look at her.
I mean,
what
yeah, she's great to look at, but what evidence do you have that she's good?
And he's out of his mind. So just, it's got to be nuts.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Whatever's going on.
I'll counter that with Bugs and Babs.
Okay.
They're Looney Tunes,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty loony, man.
That's. But didn't she like straight up like give him erectile dysfunction in Space Jam?
There's
like
there's a joke about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
Like his ears just like kind of like fall down or some shit like that. Which you know, if a bunny's ears are down, he can't get it up. So, who do you got?
Do you have one off the top of your head?
Do you think that Seinfeld and Elaine had some good sex?
I don't know. I mean, it was good enough that they started having sex again in like season 3 for a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then stopped. So it must have been interesting.
Okay. Do you have anything?
Not off the top of my head. I'm trying to.
Han Solo and Princess Leia.
I'm sure it was interesting.
Interesting. Okay, we're talking a girl that kissed her brother. Okay, and we're talking a guy that shot first.
Okay.
So I mean.
See, I have a good one.
What if Chewie's involved?
Chewie could be involved.
They're bringing Chewie into the picture here. What's your good one? Or are you saving it?
No, it's not my pick, but this one would actually be like an unironic good one. Gomez and Morticia.
Oh, wow. That might be... Ooh, I might have to change my pick. But I'm not going to. Do you think we should jump into it since you're struggling here?
I don't, unless you have some.
How about Edge and Lita?
But we've seen that, so we know.
They didn't actually achieve penetration, so the freakiness didn't actually start. But we're talking two people that have taken a lot of chairs,
and you know what?
And are probably introducing chairs in the bedroom.
What about some that we've actually seen, like Dr. Evil and the girl he bangs, and the fucking.
What about that dude in Scary Movie 1? And he like
I don't remember anything from Scary Movie.
Cum like straight like shoots her onto the ceiling and she like gets stuck to the ceiling.
I don't remember that at all.
And he like literally becomes like a fucking like he gets so skinny. Like he like actually gets skinnier, I think, from all the cum that he's coming.
Sure. Don't remember it all, but that's
okay. Here's one that I know is kinky. Stone Cold and Deborah.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Steve. I'm sorry. Big fan of the show. Okay. Do you have any?
I have my pick, and you can do yours first.
Well, I'm not doing my pick yet. I promised you that I was going to bring up Zelda and Link.
Yeah, just for the sake of bringing.
Because I bring up Link. Link's like my ace in the hole every time, so I'm bringing him up. I'm just going to say, think of all the tools that Link has at his disposal. The hook shot. I mean, he can achieve some deep penetration with that thing.
Seems violent.
That's kinky, man.
Yeah.
You say violent, I say kinky.
How about...
So does... Well, Link says, hit!
Yeah!
Shit!
Okay, here's what
Is it actually confirmed if he says shit in Ocarina of Time?
No.
Can we confirm it here on the show?
I can't confirm it.
Okay.
Maybe someone in the comments can confirm it. We can have a little mini debate right now between two.
What else would he be saying?
No, not that. I'm talking two different couples.
Okay.
We can have a little mini debate.
Okay.
Out of these two, and I'm assuming neither of these are our picks, who would have the kinkier sex? Goku and Chi-Chi, Vegeta and Bulma. I'm going with Vegeta on this. No, I don't know, because Goku's nuts. Well, Goku's too...
Because of Goku's testicles or because Goku's crazy?
Goku's crazy. No, but here's the thing. I don't think
Both.
Goku might not even know how to have sex correctly.
He's got more... No, he doesn't have more kids than Vegeta. Not anymore.
Not anymore. I gotta catch
They
up.
have the same amount of kids.
Okay.
Bra. Or Bola. Or whatever they want to call her. She's only... No, she's in the last episode of Z, I think.
Is she?
I think so. I think Bulma has her with her when they're both at that tournament.
I thought they just had... I knew Pan was there. But
that's
Goku's...
Gohan.
Yeah.
Gohan's.
Well, I mean like Goku's family.
You took my pick, okay? My pick
Was that really your pick?
is Vegeta and Bulma.
Was that really your pick?
Vegeta and Bulma is my pick, yeah.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's not what I thought you were gonna do.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
Well, it's gonna be my pick now.
All right, we'll take it.
Because I was gonna counter it with something else. I'm saying Shrek and Fiona.
What did you think I was picking Shrek and Fiona? You're gonna win because more people like Shrek than Dragon Ball Z because they're idiots. The people that vote on these polls are idiots. But I won last week, so we'll be tied this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and just say though right now that Vegeta can turn Super Saiyan, which just adds an entire fucking new level of kinkiness to the sex that him and Bulma are having. And Bulma just seems to me like she would be into some shit. She doesn't seem very conservative, if you know what I mean.
You know what? Ogres have layers, man. And you got two ogres, and that's a lot of layers. And
That's a lot of noise,
so we're set in stone.
Vegeta and Bulma versus Shrek and Fiona.
And when I thought that you might be picking Shrek and Fiona, I was gonna say Donkey and the Dragon.
You would have won that too. I should change my pick to Donkey and the Dragon.
That's why I was like, is this set in stone?
When you win this poll, I'm gonna be super fucking pissed.
Well, we can talk about it next week. We've gone on long enough. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. And this is Buddy the Bruiser, and we will see you next week.
Dynamite Jared signing off. Goodbye.